what did the key message is in Matthew 26:59 to 61? Anyone? Nobody read the Bible? What? So, false testimony is the key theme there. What did people do? People lied, right? And they were trying to twist the truth, okay? And they were trying to manipulate the facts. And my message today, as a practicing Christian, will always be towards how we are interfacing and practicing and how we are experiencing this part of the message in our daily life. Okay, so let's look at some of the things that we experience as an individual. Now, does lying, manipulation, does it sound any bell to you all? Do you all face in daily life? Yeah, some of you are saying yes. I'll give you a few examples. So, latest and the greatest, MAGA. Who heard about MAGA? Make America Great Again. Are they telling truths in the media about Iran? Every day war is over, war will get over, I am winner, tomorrow I will win, and we all are reading news. So is it a manipulated facts? Yeah? And at our workplace too, do we see people twisting facts for their own advantage? Yeah? So that's another real life example, right? And how many of us have Instagram? Now everybody will be like, should I raise my hand or not? How many of us have Instagram, Facebook, social media accounts? Oh, don't tell me that you don't have. Right? So what do you see there? Everybody is telling you the truth. Everybody is fabricating the truth. So it is not only at the time of Jesus, even in today's age, after 2000 years, we are experiencing fabrication of truth. For whose benefit? For whoever is fabricating the truth's benefit. Right? So let's move on to the next one. Matthew chapter 27 verse 11 to 12 to 14. But what did Jesus do when people were telling lies against him? 12 to 14.
When he was accused by the chief priests and the elders. When he was accused by the chief priests and the elders, he gave no answer. Then Pilate asked him, "Don't you hear the testimony they are bringing against you?" But Jesus made no reply, not even to a single charge, to the great amazement of the governor.
Yeah, so what did Jesus do first? Jesus said, no, you can't say this to me. I am very good. I have not done anything of this sort. You are putting blames on me. Did Jesus say like that? Which version of Bible are you reading? In my Bible it is mentioned like that in today's world, that we will argue with people. But did Jesus do? If we were there, what will we do? Meena is saying, me to full on. I will argue till I can breathe last. Right? Which is very common. It is just not Meena, many of us will do that. If provocated, we will. For Newton's third law of motion, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. I will say much more powerful reaction. Right? But what did Jesus do? He was silent. Why was he silent? Have you ever thought? And why did Jesus not react emotionally? We get provoked, we become very emotional, right? Why did Jesus not react? Because I told you today my sessions are always about practical sessions, right? I am not a theologian, right? So why did Jesus not respond and why we will respond or we typically respond? Okay, everybody's like, I can't share. Okay, so Jesus knew his identity. Jesus doesn't need to prove to someone. that I am correct. I know I am correct. Why do I have to go on, keep on shouting, I am correct, I am correct? Right? So, similarly, do we need to prove ourselves to everyone around? But why do we do? It's something for us to reflect upon and introspect from Jesus' trials. Right? So now, what are the lessons of truth that we can gather from Jesus' trials? Is Jesus' trials, if we go through, many of us have gone through, I'm sure, in your X number of years of life. If you have worked in offices, sometimes it can cost you what? Job, health, growth, promotion, salary increase, mental peace, sometimes popularity, right? All of this at the cost of what? At the cost of truth. What are you defending? Right? At the cost of the truth. Now you all understand, many of us or many of the people around us succumb to pressure and they become silent, what you call alibi to unethical practices. They will be silent yes boss. Correct? But what does Jesus tells us or teaches us? Stand firm even though it is costly. Right? That is something you have to learn from Jesus' life. Right? What is the difference between a practicing Christian versus a non-Christian? Is one of the trait is this, that you are ready to stand for the truth. Right? So now let's move on to Luke chapter 22 verse 54 to 62. Now we are going to Peter's denials.
Having arrested him, they led him away and brought him to the house of the high priest. But Peter was following at a distance. After they had kindled a fire in the middle of the courtyard and had sat down together, Peter was sitting among them. And a servant girl, seeing him as he sat in the firelight and looked intently at him, said, "This man was with him too." But he denied, saying, "Woman, I do not know him."
Wait 1 second. So that is the first denial. Peter says, I don't know him. Okay? Note this clause. Okay? Second.
A little later, another saw him and said, "You are one of them too." But Peter said, "Man, I am not."
Okay, so this is the second denial.
After about an hour had passed, another man began to insist, saying, "Certainly this man also was with him, for he is Galilean too." But Peter said, "Man, I do not know what you are talking about."
Okay. So this is the third time Peter has declined or denied, saying, I don't know who is Jesus. And in the third time, the person caught his accent. You are Galilean. So typically, you will figure out, right? If you are coming from certain part of India, you will have certain accent. So through the accent they caught. And Peter, third time also denied. And then what happened?
Immediately, while he was still speaking, a rooster crowed. The Lord turned and looked at Peter, and Peter remembered the word of the Lord, how he had told him, "Before a rooster crows today, you will deny me 3 times."
Yeah? So, imagine if you were Peter, Jesus looked at you, what would you feel? Ashamed? Right? Now let's understand, why did Peter deny? Sorry? He was afraid. Afraid of what? Death is too much. Yeah? They have not done anything to Jesus also until that time. Right? Afraid of what? Arrest, some fear. It's basically fear. What else? Why was Peter denying not once, twice, thrice that he knew Jesus? One is fear. What else? And what else did Peter do? Did he compromise on the truth? Yes, he compromised by not telling the truth. Right? So, what can we learn from Peter's denial in today's examples for us? Do we also do this? Kids do it deliberately. They make a mistake at home. Parents go and ask, who did this? Will they tell the truth? Why don't they tell the truth? Because they are afraid of the punishment. Right? And what do they say? They will also tell 3 times or 100 times till you show them a CCTV recording, right, of their act. They will tell that I did not do. Right? And similarly, adults also do, for the fear of some kind of thing that goes in our mind. That could be fear of failure, fear of punishment, fear of not getting what we want. So there is a fear due to which we feel we should not tell the truth by denying it. And how do we do that in today's world? In our workplace, in our office space, in our homes. Not every time we will deny Jesus verbally. No, so Michael will say, no, I will talk about Jesus everywhere. I am a proud Christian. I will tell my name mein hai, so I will tell I am a Christian. Right? But some people will act silent. When the moments of opportunity will come for us to share, we will be silent. Now, isn't that a kind of a subtle denial? Right? Not speaking about faith when opportunity provided by the Lord in a forum where you can talk. Right? How many of you had the opportunity to talk about Good Friday in whatever way? Or made people remind about Good Friday for or secular people in your offices, especially people who have Christian names, or people having non-Christian names but taking leaves. People will know, why are you taking leave today? Is a moment to talk about Good Friday, or trying to hide away from it by being silent. Some family event is there. Right? And also, how do we deny like Peter? Is when our Christian values are challenged, we just shy away from confronting others. Do we do it? So this is another way of us to reflect. Are we a new avatar of Peter, or a better upgraded version of Peter, a very sophisticated? Peter was very crude emotionally. He will shout, he will do all. We are very soft, silent killers. Right? Let's look at what could be the other denial example. One is compromise, which I spoke about. One, we don't confront people when something is to be challenged. Second is we join them. Joining people in unethical practices is also denial of what? The Christian values or what Jesus told us. How many of us fake bills because we just completed March end? People who work in offices and who have submitted bills for income tax will know what I'm talking about. Right? How many of us claim bills which we should not claim bills, and join others in the unethical race of trying to save some 30% or whatever you're trying to save? Right? So isn't that a denial of the values what Jesus has told us? As in today's example I'm sharing. No, Anna, but everybody does, so I will also do. That exactly is the denial. Right? And or you are trying to adjust, no, but I am living in secular world, so I will have to eat the prasadam served to me. I will have to break the coconut. I will have to put the tilaks. It's your individual choice, but these are also things that are you following the values or are you denying the values? Or are you compromising on the values? Right? The third one is how we deny, like Peter, is double life. Do you all have only one version of yourself? Sarah is saying, I have 5-6 versions. Immediately she's like, she's counting. Sarah one on office, Sarah one in ship, Sarah one in land, and so on and so forth, right? So we all have multi-avatars. Yes or no? Right? You just don't want to acknowledge again denial that I am holy here, which I will not probe, but you all know, right? So how are we doing double standards? Double life is nothing but double standards, right? We say we will follow all of this in church. As soon as you step out, you will wear the second mask. And as soon as you get out of the building, the fourth mask will come. And as soon as you get a call from your office or someone, fifth mask will come on. Right? And what happens to your Christian values? So this is what I call double standards. Which is what Peter did. I know Jesus, but I don't know Jesus. Right? And like Peter, we all, most of us, okay, I will say not all because some of you say, no, I will follow, I follow. So maybe most of us do this for safety over faithfulness. You all agree? I will like you all to introspect on this. Right? Like Peter's denials, which are 3 times, I have shared with you 3 times. One on silence, how we are silently denying Jesus. 2, compromising Jesus. 3, having double standards about Jesus. And why we do most of it? Not wantedly, but intentionally. There's a difference. Right? Why we do this? Primarily for safety of whatever we aspire for. Oh, if I tell the truth, I will lose promotion. Oh, I will have a loss of the job. So on and so forth. Right? So, let's contrast Jesus to Peter's life. Okay? Was Jesus pressurized? Right? Jesus was pressurized. Was Peter pressurized? Right? What was Jesus' behavior when he was pressurized? Calm. What was Peter's behavior when he was pressurized? Huh? Worried, anxious. So I would say he was like a pressure cooker, pressure whistle. He was releasing his pressure by telling all kind of things and trying to run away. Right? Now, did Jesus stand for truth? And did Peter stand for truth? What did Peter do? Peter denied the truth. Right? And did Jesus focus on the purpose? Yeah? And what did Peter focus on? Peter focused on survival. Jesus focused on purpose. Peter focused on survival. Now, is the difference that Peter did not love Jesus? He loved, right? Then what was he not ready for? What Jesus was ready in? Peter loved Jesus, you all agree? So what did Peter not have that Jesus had? Peter was not spiritually ready. Right? So this is a broad contrast between Jesus and Peter in these examples, and you can replace Peter with yourself and myself to understand how differently we behave when we are under pressure, When we are normal, everybody will tell the truth. Everybody sticks to the nice things. When you are under pressure, the real character comes out. Right? When we need to tell the truth, and then we look for, should I survive or should I tell the truth? Okay? Now, if you have to pick up the message from today for yourself, we need to reflect upon three elements. The first one is, where am I when I am under pressure? Am I on the God side or am I on my side? My side means earthly side. When under pressure, what do I do? That's the first one we need to reflect upon. Right? Second one, when I am denying Christ, where am I? Right? What happens to me? And the third one is, where do I need courage? In what situations do I need courage? Does courage means lack of fear? No, right? Courage means you live with the courage, managing the fear. Fear is there, but you have to move ahead with the faith that gives you the courage. Right? Now, what are the three actions we can do as an individual? One, anyone, what should we do? The three things we need to reflect our pressure. Where am I under? When I am in denial? And where do I need courage? In what kind of situations? And what do I need to do from today onwards? One, draw closer to Jesus. Right? Stand for the truth, because that's what God is going to ask when your performance review happens at the end of your life. There will be a Bible or a book like this much page of volumes of all your Vashalu, like Peter, you have done in this world. And God will say, in the year of 2027, that date, this situation, what did you do, my dear son or my dear daughter? Then these questions you will need to answer. But God, I was under pressure. But then Lord will tell, on April 2026, one of your messenger told you, what did you do after that? So sorry, your excuse is removed from today. Right? And last and most important, if you have fallen away from the Lord, return to the Lord. Right? Three actions. One, draw closer to the Lord. Two, stand for the truth. And three, return back to the Lord. And returning back is not like you have done the worst crime. In every day we are doing certain small acts which may not be in tune to what Lord wants us to do. The better and better we become Christian, we will be at 90th percentile, 95th percentile. If you are very worse, you are at 20th percentile. I hope you know what is percentile. And I believe that our church is somewhere around 80th to 90th percentile when you look at other churches. But still there is a long way for all of us to go. Because after 90th percentile, even 1.5 percentile to move up is very, very tough. Right? Easy grapes are easy to eat. But then the tougher ones are very tough to crack. Yeah. With that, I close the message of Jesus' trials and Peter's denials. So in Telugu, I funnily phrased this: Jesus Kastalu, Peter's Ashalu. Thank you all.